Welcome to Jobber Bros. It's your man Johnny Rude. My co-host is always Donny Smokes. We are here today on podcast episode number 7 to discuss MJF and what the hell is going on and with him and his current character and what's been leading up to Full Gear with his match with Jon Moxley. It's going to be a banger nonetheless, but quite an interesting build-up with everything going on. And we're going to discuss that and kind of bounce back and forth and go over what we're thinking and where he's headed. But first off, what's going on today, Donnie? How you doing?
I'm doing pretty all right. It's been a long day at work. And then just chilling now, man. How about you? How was your day?
It's good. A lot of running around. Checked my Powerball tickets this morning. Came out with a whopping $12 win. So didn't get the billion. I don't think anyone got the billion. I'll just say I spent a lot more than $12 on the tickets. So down pretty bad. But besides that, just a lot of running around with my wife and our son. Got the Greek food. Went to a Greek restaurant that was banging. Initially was going to go to sushi because I've been craving sushi for weeks now. And fucking walk up to the sushi restaurant. Said it was open online, like when I checked, and they have a sign on the door saying closed on Tuesdays. I was like, fuck.
It's fucked. But no, that Powerball, I looked because Mom bought tickets tonight, and it's up to 1.2 billion right now. So if nobody hits it tonight, I'll drop some cash on the Powerball in the morning.
Yeah, tomorrow's the next drawing. So I'll probably pick up a couple tickets tomorrow for it. But yeah, I'm going to definitely try again. I'm not going to put as much money in as I did for last night's drawing, but definitely will give it another go here.
Yeah.
But yeah, all in all, pretty good day, busy day. But now we are here to talk about some wrestling.
Yeah, and as you said before, MJF specifically, and how his character's been and where it's going, which has been a completely interesting, emotional ride for not only him and the fans in the arena, but the fans at home. Like, it's being portrayed, it's coming through really well, even through the screen, and I feel like you get a lot more. There's a lot more zest on it, obviously, when there's commentary. When you're sitting at home, because you don't really get the commentary in the when you're in the arena, right? Not unless you're like watching it on TV as you're there. But it's
we're sitting right behind the commentary table.
Yeah, it's definitely got some of that little extra zang on it with the commentary. But even if there is no commentary, it's got some good meat to it. This whole storyline that they're doing with MJF and Jon Moxley and the firm, and we're gonna get into a lot of that tonight.
Yeah. So. Yeah, and one of the most intriguing questions I have here, starting us right off the bat, is this, with all the events we've seen transpired in the past weeks, especially with last week, is he moving towards a face character, or is it kind of all just a swerve, all a ruse, kind of like his debut? He was absent all summer, ever since he called Tony Khan a fucking mark. He was out for the whole summer. Comes back, Buffalo Bills jersey in Buffalo, saying, I love Buffalo, blah, 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 blah. And Moxley comes out and is like, quit the shit. I know you're just fucking around here. And then, of course, there's heel MJF. But with all this shit going on, with the firm and him saying he's going to not cheat, he's going to play clean, like, where is he headed? And this is one more point here. We've had so many face champions almost in a row. We have Moxley right now, who is clearly a face. We had Punk, who was obviously, we figured would be a face, but then all the shit at All Out happened. Then we had Moxley before Punk as that, and then Punk before him, and it was clearly face back then for that before he hurt his leg, and then we
Mm.
had Hangman, who was also a face, and then finally we get to Omega, who was the heel, the last heel champion we had. So, what are you thinking is his direction in that sense?
Well, I think so, and I know we've talked about this for kind of weeks now. I love the, you know, I think you called it the anti-hero kind of
Like a
theory, kind of
Deadpool kind of
gimmick.
thing,
Yeah, yeah, where he's like I absolutely love MJF as a heel. That's his personality out in the ring. That's his demeanor. That's who he needs to be. I would be okay if MJF never went face. I would completely be okay with that. But I like him dabbling in it because we see a lot of, kind of the angel and devil on the shoulder kind of thing when he's cutting some promos where it's like, I want to go out there with John Moxley being 100% and I'm going to fight a clean match. And then next promo, it's, well, I'm going to kind of fight a clean match. And then it's back to fighting clean. You're not touching John Moxley. And then, there's he's torn because we saw it when the firm, after MJF explicitly said, "Do not touch John Moxley" to the firm went out there pissed off at MJF for telling them what they can and can't do, and then beating the shit out of John Moxley. And MJF took a hot minute, to get down to the ring. You could tell
right?
he wanted to go, but he wasn't sure if he should. He should just let it ride and have a better chance at beating John Moxley. But he's got something to prove. And I like that angle from him because everything we've seen him do was, you know, the easy way out, taking the cheap way. It's like, oh well, I could have somebody do the first half of my match for me, basically, and then get in there for the win. We've seen him wrestle short matches phenomenally. We've seen all the, this isn't the first time him and John Moxley have met in the ring, and the first time there were all these stipulations and the whole propaganda campaign with MJF your next champion and John Moxley not being able to use the paradigm shift. It's different this time. You can feel his energy being different. So that's why I really like the anti-hero, half evil, half good kind of thing going on with MJF. And I think that even if MJF does become champion, we're gonna see both sides. As the angel devil kind of thing, the good, the evil, the bad, the good and the ugly going on for a while. I think we might
Mm.
see more face from him than we've ever seen before, but I think we're gonna see what's happening now consistently for at least the next year.
I could see that. Yeah, I mean, he's calling his fans, and the crowd in general, devil worshippers, for God's sakes.
Right.
Like he's portraying himself as this devil, and the mask he came out with to win the chip. So I definitely agree with you on all that. I think he is going to be like an anti-hero kind of character. And ooh, what's that?
This
The
is. Hold on. Finish your thought. Finish your thought.
my train of thought. Once I see bottle, uh, mine stops working.
So this is one of my favorite whiskeys. This is Metallica's whiskey, the blackened rye. They call it Rye the Lightning. It's As you know, but I don't think anybody else knows, my all-time favorite band of all time, and I will drink and or smoke anything they come out with.
There you go. Yep. Metallica, sponsored Jobber Bros. We
Yes,
will gladly endorse your
seriously,
products.
and I'll even
But
keep
anyway,
paying for it.
yeah, there you go. Just give us a shout out. But yeah, I definitely agree with you and everything. I think he's never going to be a true face, although he can definitely do it if he wanted to. Because that his Buffalo, like it actually had me thinking when he returned in Buffalo. I was like, shit, are they just completely repackaging him? Like, is he just going to be a face? And part of me was like, no way, it's all fucking ruse here. And then Moxley came out and solidified that. But
Right.
he definitely can do the face thing, and if nothing else, he's damn good at faking the face thing. So it's nice to see he can play both sides of the coin. But all in all, I think we're gonna see, like you said, an anti-hero kind of character going forward, and the crowd's gonna still eat it up. They're still gonna love him, huge pops, despite him being face and or
Yeah.
heel. Sorry, but like you don't see many of those nowadays. Like if you like Roman Reigns been a heel for a long time, as champion in there in WWE, people boo the fuck out of him. They're not getting no cheers. You could just think like anyone really. It's like you don't really see too many heels nowadays that get good pops, positive pops from the crowd. And MJF has that magic to pull that off.
And that's, I know he says it, but that's, your once in a lifetime generational superstars. I mean, think back, and a lot of people forget this. The Undertaker was technically a heel all the time. He was never
Mm-hmm.
really a baby face, never called a baby face, never was really super portrayed as one. He was, the Ministry of Darkness, the Dead Man, Big Evil. It was always in the name, something evil, something looming. MJF is gonna be that heel that's loved like a face, and he's already starting to be, and that's definitely gonna fall off a little bit. But then it'll, once it comes back for the second time, it's gonna be bigger, badder, better than ever. And that's what I'm waiting for, the second time he revisits this whole anti-hero thing, where he's just gonna be consistently loved for years to come. Because, like I said,
Bidding war.
he is one of my he is probably my favorite heel in the business right now. He is so good at being the bad guy that I love it. And that's, everybody loves the bad boy. That's and it's
Mhm.
it's the truth, man. Everybody fucking loves the bad boy. And he's bad enough to be loved so much because he does it so fucking well.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. He's truly one of the greatest heels right now, if not the greatest in current professional wrestling, without a doubt.
Yeah.
And up there with the greats, like you said, Undertaker, long heel run, Ric Flair. He's up there with quite a bit,
Mm-hmm.
and he's proving his worth. And truly, like you said, generational talent, like he says all the time.
Yeah,
um,
but it's the truth.
Yeah, no, I could definitely see, like you said, kind of diminishing a little bit as time goes on. He's if he wins or doesn't win the championship, which we'll get to, and then we got the bidding war of 2024. January 2024 is when we're supposed to see, and we may have I don't know if it's going to be a collaboration between AEW and WWE at that point. That's still over a year in advance. Uh, looking forward, but that's going to be interesting. It's
Mm.
going to open up a whole new can of worms. Is MJF going to go to the WWE? Is MJF going to stay with AEW? And I could see a lot more of the anti-hero element coming into play there. But truly, quite the anomaly in the
Mm-hmm.
wrestling space, being such a pardon my French, douchebag and a character, while like such a douchebag character on and off screen, it's still getting such a positive reaction from the crowds. Like, truly remarkable stuff.
Yeah,
Um, but anyways,
absolutely.
going to my next thing. I know you said you touched on this earlier. You had mentioned he was kind of going to play it clean. You know, at first he's like, I'm doing it totally clean. Last week he said kind of clean.
Right.
Is he going to end up cheating? And if he does end up cheating, what are you thinking? Is his classic Dynamite Diamond Ring? Or maybe he pulls out the big ass poker chip. Maybe someone else gets involved. What are your immediate thoughts before I start poking more at your brain here?
Well, my immediate is actually the firm, not the ring, not the chip. I think he's trying to play and coax this whole thing of I'm gonna play it clean, and he's flashing the dynamite diamond ring, and it's he's trying to really get people to believe, and this is where the whole anti-hero persona comes in. Somebody that is so good at that itself is gonna make you believe that he's gonna do what he says. Looks you dead in the eyes and goes, "Nope, I'm definitely playing it clean." But he's got some serious ulterior motives. He wants the championship. He's wanted the championship for over 2 years now, right? This will be his second go after the championship. First one being with Moxley, second one
Mm-hmm.
being with Moxley. He wants to win it from Moxley, and I don't think he's gonna care how he does it. And listen, I think everything is gonna come into play, right? My immediate is the firm, but the firm's gonna come into play. Some outside object is gonna come into play, and whether it be the chip or not, and the dynamite diamond ring is definitely coming into play. Like we're gonna get a mixture of things because John Moxley is portrayed as a force that can lose all of his blood. His flesh could fall off of his fucking bones, and he still won't lose. Right?
You're
That's
right.
how we see John Moxley, which is great. I love seeing him that way. What I love seeing it also too, and what I love about Moxley and MJF always feuding and butting heads is that it pulls so much out of MJF, and we notice the hits get stiffer, right? The slams get harder because
Mm.
that's also showing that they love working with each other. So this is but not to get too far off topic and to start answering questions you haven't asked yet. but
Mm. You already did that. It's
well,
okay.
I see more than just one thing coming into play. I think we're going to start with the firm, and it's all just going to go downhill from there. I think he's going to try really hard through the first half of the match, so we're going to see a mixture of really wanting to be clean, and
Right.
the devil inside's going to take over, and that's going to be that. And listen, and we know Moxley may be a face, but he has no problem playing it dirty.
No, not at all. Now, it's kind of funny because WWE is kind of doing a very similar trajectory, is what you just said. So you may have not have caught this. I didn't catch it, but on Raw last night, I saw a clip online. Um, Johnny Gargano was in an interview and exposed The Miz and Dexter Loomis. They had a recorded call that they played saying that Dexter Loomis was being paid by The Miz to get get beat up and look like he was getting attacked just to kind of boost his publicity in the WWE. So it's kind of interesting, coinciding with that because MJF got the shit beat out of him, not like destroyed by every member of the firm. last week on Dynamite,
Mm.
and it's kind of like a similar concept, which is really intriguing.
Yeah,
Um,
there's a lot of similarities between the two companies right now because they're competing very hard against each other. And I did kind of like things better when they were competing but not really competing. Like one was sports entertainment, one was professional wrestling. They were doing their own thing and not worried about what the other was doing. So there are certain things that kind of throws me off. I'm just kind of like, eh, that reminds me too much of that, or why are they doing that? Let the other place do that. That's because that's what they do.
yeah, I just don't. I just I think along the same lines as you, like the firm might potentially get involved, but also I don't think like MJF is a very devious wrestler and devious human being, and he'll do deviant things. But I don't know if his pride would let him go to the extent of letting the firm kick the absolute shit out of him, put him through a table, and all that. That's what's kind of like. Yeah, I know he's going to do whatever it takes, but all that just to have people come out in his corner at Full Gear, like I don't. If that's the case, I mean, well, shit. Congrats, it worked. But I mean, I feel like it's a little excessive for the amount, of a possibly soon to be future champion to just get absolutely destroyed by all these guys, and it's all just his plan, all his working inner deviant, conspiracy to get the title.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of what I was going for when I was saying not really. I guess subconsciously, thinking it without really knowing it, being like, oh, maybe it's just kind of one big work. He's putting in the time to really make you believe that he
Mm-hmm.
wants to fight clean and all this and that he's not on the firm side with beating up John Moxley, but I kind of think he is.
So I disagree with that. Well, that's why we do the pay per view picks championship, which is
Right?
beautifully sitting on my baby's bed back there. But in any case, yep, a little Easter egg there for you guys. Uh, we are going to get into another little segment, which actually, let me just ask you this. So, you think the firm is going to come out and help him at some point, maybe halfway through the match, later on in the match?
Mm-hmm.
Where's the Combat Club going to be? Are they going to lock them up like they did last time? Or you think they're probably going to be, on edge waiting for that to happen? Like,
Well, I do think I do think they are going to be on edge waiting for that to happen. I don't think the firm is smart enough to lock them up and do anything like that. So I think we're gonna see some shit from the firm. I think we're gonna see Blackpool. No, we don't usually see Blackpool interfere too much, like because where were they when the firm was beating the shit out of John Moxley?
they were locked up. That's why
Oh,
I'm
they
mentioning
were.
that. They
Oh,
showed a
yeah,
clip of the
yeah,
door.
yeah.
Yep.
Fuck. I'm sorry. Right. They
They're
were. They
good.
were locked up. Um. I don't know. I don't see him doing that again. I see a feud breaking out at ringside, and that's where more chaos ensues with either the chip or the dynamite diamond ring. Like I think we're gonna. Like I said, I don't know how it's gonna happen, but I think we're gonna see just all of it. All of
Hmm.
it. Outside object, dynamite diamond. I think he's gonna go the first half of the match clean and then give up because he hasn't won already. He's gonna do anything to fucking win.
I think so. Yeah, I think he's going to do everything in his power to win. I think he's going to still, with the help from the firm, potentially getting involved, come short until, now hear me out here. This
Mm-hmm.
is the next big point.
Mm-hmm.
Him and Regal had a crazy promo back and forth, one of the greatest I've seen in AEW. Great
Yeah.
promo about the email and all that crazy shit. If you haven't seen
Uh-huh.
it, go back and watch it 100%. Talking to the people, not you. I know you've seen it. Um, but what if the firm comes out, tries to get involved shenanigans, like you said, Combat Club comes out defending. Everybody's fucking on the floor outside. Everybody's fucking going at it, and then it's just Regal left because Regal's the outlier. They don't need Regal to get involved really in the messy work, and Regal fucking sides with MJF and helps him win and betrays the Combat Club. I've been seeing multiple things online regarding this, and it really got my wheels turning. And I think because William Regal is an incredible heel, I think if he just turned the tide and went with MJF, that would be a dynamic duo, and I think that would be a really strong way for MJF to win the title. Not clean, and not tarnishing Jon Moxley's skills and brutality and legacy as a wrestler, but just William Regal turning the tide and helping him win just by a little bit, just that little push that he needs.
Oh, that's very hard for me to see happening. Like, this is very hard. Like, I know you put it out there, but it's not for me.
That's
It's
gonna go
not
on the picks for sure.
It's not turning my wheels that much. I don't see Regal.
It's going on the picks, and if hey, here, wait, let me take you one further here. Why should Regal believe in the Combat Club anymore? Wheeler Yuta lost to Daniel Garcia. Claudio Castagnoli lost to Chris Jericho. If Moxley loses to MJF, what the fuck is Regal going to think? Like, I got a bunch of losers that keep losing title belts. Like, I think I'm putting it as a pick on the sheet. We're gonna put that as a point on the Pay-Per-Vix title defense here.
I'm probably gonna end up voting no for that one. I don't know why. I don't see that. I don't see that happening.
Fair enough. I just
that's
think
a tough pill for me to swallow if it does happen. I'll be very disappointed.
I will not. I will love it. I will love it in the fullest extent because it's a slow bleed. It's a slow burn. I see it happening. Like William Regal established this group of super men to fucking dominate, and Jon Moxley's been pulling his weight, but the rest of them not so much. They've been falling short to the JAS Jericho Appreciation Society, and I mean William Regal, and MJF had that connection in that ring, and they didn't get physical. Nothing crazy happened. They just had a verbal back and forth, and it was beautiful. And I feel that that's definitely not out of the realm of possibility. I can definitely see Regal turning the tide here, but it's just me. We'll see what transpires.
We will have to see. Maybe my view will change on that. Maybe not. I'm not quite sure. That doesn't sit. It does not sit easy with me in this moment.
You didn't see that one coming.
No, fucker. No, why are you gonna make me think that hard, dude?
I know it's almost 10 o'clock at night here. Brains are supposed to be shutting down.
Yeah. Ah, shit.
So I think I only got one or two more for you here.
All right.
Well, yeah, we went over. We saw the firm turn on MJF last week. Could it all be a work? We think yes, potentially. You think they're going to still help him out. It was all just a play to kind of diminish the relationship with them, make MJ look like he's going to be out on his own. So we'll just say, hypothetically speaking, we don't know what's going to happen in the match. But if MJF wins, who are you thinking? We could do a two-part here. Who do you think will be his first challenger? And or who do you want to be his first challenger and why?
First challenger.
Can you think again?
No, I had somebody right off the rip, and then another person popped into my name. I really wanted to quick fire that one, but in the essence of trying to keep quick firing, I'm torn between 10 and Kingston.
All right.
being like first challengers, because I could see either one of those two coming back down the road and months, year from now, taking the title. If Danielson doesn't take it before that, you know what I mean. Um, but I mean, if we play the long game here, right, and say, um, what you said happens with Regal happens. Um, I see. I don't see Daniel or Brian Danielson getting a fair title shot with MJF, because Regal can be just as despicable as the best of them, right up there with
Mm-hmm.
MJF. So I can, but I could see a dope feud with really pushing 10 as a singles wrestler and MJF, because they're both pretty big, beefy guys. 10's taller than MJF, but two pretty big powerhouses like that. Um, and then what would so besides those are definitely my top two. But one more just popped into my mind now that I'm really thinking about it, that the wheels are fucking turning. Wardlow.
Wardlow, double champ Wardlow, or
Fucking
drops the belt
I
Wardlow.
doesn't it doesn't matter. Wardlow wanting to make MJF's life miserable, whether that be with or without a title, is good enough for me. Like Wardlow just wanting to fucking wreck him and steal his most prized possession from him.
Mm, that would
So
be beautiful for
yeah,
sure. I'd love to see that.
I mean, because there's so many great people that can fight MJF for the title and give him a long match. Like I'm thinking, like I said 10, I said Kingston, I said Wardlow. I mean, MJF and Samoa Joe would be a fucking banger. MJF and Claudio would be a fucking banger. Um, MJF and Chris Jericho would be a fucking banger. Like
Mm-hmm.
right there, that's 6, 7 matches right off the rip. That if any single one of them happened, would not be mad, not one bit.
Yeah.
I mean,
No,
I'll even throw Santana or Ortiz in there as bonus chips. Like
just not
to
Sammy Guevara.
no fuck Sammy. I'll say that every single time on the
We're gonna
podcast.
say fuck
Fuck
Sammy
him.
every single episode of the podcast. We should try and do
Yeah,
that. Let's try and squeeze him
yeah,
in like once every episode.
yeah, yeah. Oh yeah. By the way, fuck Sammy.
At the end of the video, we're Job Bros. Like, share, subscribe, and also fuck Sammy Guevara.
Yeah, man. There's so many. Like there's. I mean, you could even see. I mean, because I'm sure I know you think they're coming back at full gear, which I don't. At this point, I don't think you're wrong. But like, a Kenny Omega MJF match would be
That's what I
something.
was gonna say, you bitch. You fucking stole from me.
Fuck, I'm sorry,
I was about to
but
say,
that
no,
would
it's fine.
be spectacular. Listen, you got my wheels turning now, man.
Your wheels
That
are
would,
turning too fast. Slow the fuck down.
dude, ADHD, bro. They only go one fucking speed. um, that would be spectacular, in my
That's
opinion.
my vote for his first challenger back, but maybe not. Maybe he'll get like a Joe
Well,
Schmo, like a like couple random ones, and then he'll get Omega or someone.
right. So
But
that was your pick for first challenger. I was talking, 4, 5, 6, 7 hours second in line. I would really like to see 10 Kingston. Get get some really good pushes. I feel like
I'd
they
like to see
need.
Danhausen just go be like, "Oh, I want the title, get all the money, being champion," and
Yeah.
it gets just destroyed by
Ooh,
MJF.
MJF and Hook. Not yet. Maybe in 6 months.
No,
Hook when he's throwing down in some longer matches because we haven't really seen him do a match over 4 minutes yet. Really, have we?
no. Well, we've seen a couple that went a little longer. I think the last pay per view, went on decently with Action Bronson,
Oh
but
yeah.
I don't. I don't. If it's gonna be him, I want him to win it. Because that would be
Right.
Hook's first loss. Hook hasn't lost yet, so they got to keep that prestige. And maybe Hook versus Wardlow for TNT title, and somehow Hook pulls it out, beats Wardlow, and then MJF. Well, Wardlow goes after MJF.
Mm.
I could potentially see like that, trajectory of
Yeah,
storyline.
that's a good story right there. Absolutely. But
Yeah,
yeah, there's so many possibilities. It's crazy. It's hard to think of. It's really hard to think of all of them. You know,
yeah,
because
and that's if MJF beats Moxley. We don't have the proof in the pudding. I mean,
no,
we're
we
pretty
just
sure that's what's
really
gonna
believe
happen.
that's gonna happen.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure 99% of the wrestling community also thinks it's gonna happen, but it might not happen. Who knows? Maybe John Moxley will never be able to go on vacation. He'll just have to stay wrestling.
That's.
He can't.
I mean, given the fact that his wife's now commentating and or doing interviews in AEW, I mean, so much for a vacation.
Yep, yep. It's all over. No more vacations for you, sir, until you retire.
Yeah.
No, but no. You and I both love Mox as champion. He's an amazing champion. I'm so fucking glad he left WWE and came to AEW because he was
Yeah,
always Dean Ambrose was my favorite of the Shield in WWE, and when
right.
he came to AEW, just like breath of new life in his
Mm,
character as John Moxley, and is I can solemnly say with no doubt in my mind, he's my favorite wrestler in AEW, without a doubt, and he's probably my favorite wrestler in any and all promotions. I just love the way he is. It just comes out through the crowd. I love his wrestling style. He's just the whole
yeah,
package for me
yeah,
personally.
and he's relatable too for a lot of people. So, which makes it really easy to love him as a wrestler. Like he's
Right.
a great wrestler, and that should be enough. But because of that, he's likable. Um,
Yeah. Yep.
yeah,
Even if we went heel, I would still love him. But
that's the whole. I'm gonna start calling it the Undertaker phenomenon. Right?
there you go.
That's what it
Patent
is.
it.
You have that whole essence and aura of evil around you, and you're a heel, yet you're the favorite. You
Yeah.
know? If somebody turned around today and said, "Oh, John Moxley is actually a heel," I'd say, "Fucking bullshit." you know, you can't convince me he's a heel. Look at him. Look at what he does.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, he's nonetheless. No matter what happens, he's been an amazing champion for AEW. He's really put the company on his back and helped him through this trying time with the Elite and CM Punk bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
Gave away his vacation so that he could help carry the company and bring it to its next stage. Um, So
Well,
yeah, I mean, regardless whether or not he loses against CM Punk, on at Full Gear, I just
you
want to
mean
give a big shout
MJF?
out to Mox and say thank you. Yeah. Oh, did I say CM Punk?
You did.
I was kind of flowing there. CM Punk's probably never going to hold the AEW title again. Um, but I hope everything irons out quickly and smoothly with with the CM Punk shit, I mean, we're this is an MJF video. We're just kind of going off on a tangent here at this point, but I've
A little
been
bit.
watching the dirt sheets and looking at everything, and it seems like Elite's coming back very, very soon, but potentially at full gear, and CM Punk is bye bye. They're trying to buy out his contract, so we'll see what happens with that. But nonetheless, I do appreciate Punk for his entertainment for the past year. It's truly like a little spark under AEW's ass having him come back, and
Uh-huh.
yeah, I wish the best for him and everybody else involved, despite the madness.
Yeah, I mean, I really do wish things worked out better. I wish he would still be around in AEW. Like, I know, just from interviews and things I've heard, like, sometimes it's really easy to deal with Punk, sometimes it's really difficult to deal with him, but we don't know him as a person, so we can't judge all that hard. It's just, I like him as an in ring, out of ring personality. Like, I've always liked Punk, and I don't know. He's just very seems to be very picky on who he likes to deal with, and maybe that's why he might not want to stay anymore, which is upsetting for the fans who really want him to stay. And listen,
Yeah,
at this point too, I've always loved the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega ever since the first time I saw him on AEW when I first started watching AEW, like 4 months into their first year, and then caught up with all the Being the Elite and fell in love with them doing this whole, before AEW started, when it was just them and Ring of Honor and traveling around and really wholesome, and now BTE's this whole big thing, and not having the Elite there really hasn't changed much for me. I don't
no.
miss them as much as I thought I would. you know, I don't, because they don't bring that special aspect to the show like they used to, in my opinion.
And that might change after this hiatus. I felt the same. Like I always loved to watch Kenny Omega wrestle because he's such a fucking good wrestler.
Mm-hmm.
The Young Bucks, I mean, there's amazing tag teams in AEW that aren't being utilized. Private Party for one.
Yep.
Um, there's so many amazing ones, but Private Party really stands out for me. Butcher and Blade are another one. Those are probably my two favorite tag teams in AEW, and they're nothing's happening with them. They're kind of just put on the brakes here, and they are young, so they have time. They don't have to push them right away as long as they're
Yeah.
still signed. We have time for that. But that's just like we've gotten a taste of it, and I want more. I want more of those two
Yeah.
tag teams. I want to have them hold the belts. Like the Acclaimed is awesome. I hope it goes on for a couple months or so. But then we need a fresh name. I feel like I don't think Acclaimed are going to hold the belts for a year or 2 years. Nothing like that.
Not right now. Maybe in their second or third reign, when they really are
Yeah,
built as a massive tag team. But
right, right. Maybe the Gun Club. Colin and I can't remember the other brother's name would
Austin and
take the
Colton.
belts. Austin, that's what it was. Yeah, I wonder if they'll take it off the Acclaimed. And just rub it in their daddy ass's face.
Maybe they're part of the firm, right? And I think they're just, to me, they just seem kind of like a placeholder.
Hey, but you just reminded me of something. Imagine they want all the gold. So you're right in that the firm is really still with MJF, tying back to our original story in this whole podcast.
Uh-huh.
MJF wins the title. They want all the gold.
Uh-huh.
So then the firm fucking wins from the Acclaimed, or the Gun Brothers, Colton and Austin, win from the Acclaimed, get the fucking AEW Tag Team Championships, and
Uh-huh.
then fucking Big Cass, aka now known as W. Morrissey, wins the TNT title off Wardlow. I don't think they have any women in the firm. But yeah, dude, that
Not
just really
yet.
that's that just got me going there for a second. I could totally see that. See the Gunn brothers taking the belt off the Acclaimed. MJF is the world champion. W Morrissey is a big man, just like Wardlow. Takes it off Wardlow, and they have all the belts. They dominate AEW.
Well,
That's definitely something I could see.
let's remember. I thought you were gonna go further than that, and I'm gonna take your theory and process here one step further. Um, Now MJF is not part of the firm. So what you're saying will make sense in them wanting all the gold is if Ethan Page then strips the title from MJF.
Mm, I don't think that's going to
Because
happen anytime soon.
right, but MJF
MJF is still associated with
hired
the
the
firm.
firm. Right, he hired the firm, but he's not in the firm. So but now we're talking months to a year this could possibly happen, right? At least that's the timeline I see. You
Right.
know, the Gun Club taking it off the Acclaimed or the tag team after that. Big Cass taking it off of Wardlow. Wardlow gets a shot at MJF, fails. Ethan Page comes in, wrecks MJF. Then the firm has all the gold. And by that time, I can see somebody like Ruby Soho or Anna Jay or somebody, or even I don't know who else, but somebody else along those lines joining the firm and having or Serena Deeb. I could see Serena Deeb in the firm and
Hmm.
getting her shot at the title, whether it be Tony Storm or Thunder Rosa or Britt Baker or whoever, or Jamie Hayter, even whoever else, right? I can see that faction having all the gold at one point, breaking it off with MJF, having a big feud, stripping the title from him, screwing him every which way. That would be some really cool shit down the line.
Yeah, yeah. All love to him, to Ethan Page, but I disagree. I don't think they're gonna pull the belt off MJF for Ethan Page. He's been a mid Carter ever since he joined the company. I don't think he's gonna win the big one, at least not off MJF. I think it'll be a dominant, prolific face that comes out, and not anytime soon. I think it's going to be
No.
quite a while till that happens. Maybe, when you said Ethan Page, and we think maybe instead of W. Morrissey, Ethan Page will win the TNT title. And then he can have a feud with Scorpio Sky, who was a 2-time TNT champion. And
Mm.
he was his buddy. They were buddies in the American Top Team shit.
Ugh.
So I could see that happening. I don't really see Ethan Page taking it off MJF, but I mean, we're just shooting the shit here, speculating. It could, we could be totally, totally wrong, but
Yeah, I like to
interesting
just
to
think
see
of
how you think.
things. I just like to think of things that would be cool to see or fun to see, like any possibility. So, I like trying to solve the puzzle. Like as we don't know what's going to happen. We're not fed by any media, news source or
Oh,
anything
yeah,
like
not at
that.
all.
Like we're just here doing whatever, whenever, like fucking Orange Cassidy up in this bitch. It's those are just things that I think would be fun to see. You
Yeah,
know,
without a doubt. But I think we've pretty much covered everything here tonight, and then some. We
I'd
we
say
went
so.
on got a little bonus content in here for everyone. Hope everybody enjoys. But any last thoughts here, Donnie Smokes?
No, that's it. I hope everybody who is watching really enjoys, and I hope you enjoy it enough to tell other people about that. We're just fucking chilling here talking about wrestling. Share. I really hope you enjoyed it enough to share it with other people and say, hey, there's just, two chill dudes talking about wrestling, because it's all we really care about, is just talking about wrestling and making sure it's enjoyable for the rest of you to listen to. And if you're really having a bad day and you come across this and it gives you enjoyment, then I'm happy with that. So I hope something we say gives you some true enjoyment in your day.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Enjoy bantering back and forth with Donnie here about our opinions on wrestling, and hope you guys enjoy it too. Make sure you like, share, subscribe to the YouTubes. This will be up on all your podcast services as well: Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon, Google Podcasts, you name it. We'll be there. But again, we just want to truly appreciate and thank everybody taking the time out of their day to listen to us. We got a bunch of cool stuff on YouTube, a bunch of shorts, TikTok as well at Jobber Bros, Instagram at Jobber Bros, Twitter at Jobber Bros, everywhere Jobber Bros. And again, thank you so much for listening. We will catch you guys soon.